Merry meet and welcome. Welcome to the realms of mysticism, the occult, and magic, where your possibilities are only limited by your imagination. Welcome to the Witch's Cauldron and discover the knowledge you seek. Gather round the cauldron and even stay for a spell. Brightest blessings to you. Merry meet and welcome to the Witch's Cauldron. My name's Paula. Today, I'm going to get into the video on the new moon in Leo coming July 28th. Some of the energies that are in play around the time of the new moon. And also, shameless plug here, folks. Meditation Magazine, the Earth issue, this just came out. It was just released. I was honored to have been asked by Meditation Magazine if they could publish a couple of my meditations in their magazine. And they're right here. One for the morning, one for the evening. Connecting, these are grounding and centering meditations, connecting you with Mother Earth and Father Sky. There is a nighttime version and a daytime version. And then I was further honored after speaking with Kevin Ellerton, the editor of the magazine. He interviewed me for a live stream on their Facebook page, and also it was streamed to their YouTube channel, and it is here in the article, Witches, Pagans, and Heathens, oh my. So if you are interested, kindly go and support Meditation Magazine. This is not sponsored. I didn't receive anything other than 3 free copies of the magazine for allowing them to publish my meditations and for the interview. There is an interview in there with Vandana Shiva, who is an amazing woman who is so insightful to a lot of things that are going on and trying to get out from under the great reset being attempted by the elites and giving the power back to the people and getting out of this, ruling over everybody kind of mindset. Because communities of people, we know better what our communities are about and what our communities need, rather than having elite ruling classes that tell us what we should have. So just that. Meditation Magazine, the Earth issue, Meditation Magazine comes out quarterly. I think the next one will be the Universe. This one being the Earth issue. The next one would, after speaking to Kevin, they are planning to do on the universe and how we fit into it. I'm going to submit an article again for that, for consideration. Don't know if it'll get published, but I want to speak on the subject of tapping into universal energy and using that to affect magic for change for the betterment of all. So that sounds like something you're interested in. Go and support Meditation Magazine. I will link their YouTube channel and their website down in the description box. Now, let's get on to the fun stuff. There has been a lot of stuff that has been going down from an energetic standpoint, especially after the supermoon on July 13th. So there is more of a focus on a more decentralized, grassroots, community-based, and even galactic focused future, okay? And that's going to become even more evident in 2023 and leading us through to 2026, where I think we're going to have another major shift in energy. This is a time about starting to shift your focus from self, finding like minded people in communities, whether it be your physical community around you or an online community where you can share ideas and be able to talk out some of the differences that are really kind of, how can I say it, getting all the attention and whipping both both ends of the spectrum far, and drowning out people who are here. And the majority of us are here, and we want peace. We want love. We want to feel secure. We want to feel like we're going to be okay. We want to feel like we will be able to provide for our families, to be able to take care of our elderly and our young and those who cannot take care of themselves, and yet still maintain, a secure sense in ourself and our place in this community, and taking back the power from the elite and bringing it back to our smaller communities, because who knows better than us how things work for our own local communities, okay? That theme is going to carry us through 2023 and into 2024. There's also a big focus on technologies, and it's not only technologies with healing the body, with Uranus representing technology and Taurus healing the body, because Uranus is in Taurus right now, and having these technologies become publicly available and not just for the elite, okay? And these new technologies, I think, may be used to balance your own meridians in your body as a way of healing, all right? But there's also, you're going to completely feel, everybody's feeling wired right now. I mean, just like something's going to happen. It's like you've got the sword of Damocles hanging over your head, and you're just expecting to get your skull split open at any time, and there is an energy on July 31st and August 1st, and we are feeling the effects of that energy already. We started feeling it a little while back, but there is a triple conjunction of Mars, Uranus, and the North Node at 18 degrees of Taurus on July 31st and August 1st. And that is just in time for Lammas or Lunasa, depending on your trad, or Loaf Mass, depending on where you are. And in the Wiccan wheel of the year, Lammas and Lunasa are the first harvests. Okay, so people who planted gardens, are really starting to see literally the fruits of their labor paying off. A lot of orchard fruits, where I'm in the southern part of the United States. I'm in Virginia. you start seeing, the orchards, come pick your own starting the beginning of August. You've had other things like tomatoes are really starting to come in this time of year. You've had some, ripen up a little bit, but they're really starting to come in now. A lot of people, especially where I am originally from in Appalachia, we would start canning and we'd be up crazy hours of the early morning because we did the canning at night. We didn't have air conditioning, folks, and the house would just get too hot during the day to do it. Like here yesterday, it was 90 degrees, but with the dew point, it felt like it was 106 degrees outside. So, you just can't be firing up water baths or pressure canners to can something and have your house being 120 degrees all the time. It's just not a happening thing with the level of humidity that we have here on the east coast of the U.S. Europe has been in a heat wave as well. So you guys know the pain. And we would, do all of our canning primary the end of July, into August. And, we were waiting for plants to go to seed so we could, reap the seeds. Or our melons, when they came in, we would save the seeds and dry them. My mom would clean the seeds and dry them and put them up wrapped in cheesecloth on a line in our unfinished basement when I was a kid, and would hang all of our seeds, including tomato seeds and everything. You can't do that with hybrid stuff because their seeds don't regerminate. So if you have heirloom seeds or have heirloom seeds that have been passed to you, and you're able to, you can save your seeds and have them for next year. So that's the kind of energy that we're building toward, okay? And there's been a shift here recently with Neptune at 25 degrees of Pisces being square to Venus at 25 of Gemini. And this brings forward creativity and beauty to the forefront. But remember that words can be beautiful, and beautiful words can lull you into believing something that is not true. Okay? So this can be a time of additional disinformation or misinformation to obscure the truths that are coming out. Neptune is in a positive trine to the Sun and Ceres at 21 and 25 degrees of Cancer. And this is, again, nurturing and nourishment. And that puts a more spiritual context to our food and where it comes from, right? So just keep that in mind. And you have to think there is a big push, and it's building even more to get away from governmental control and grassroots taking back power. And especially where it comes to our food. Now, you as an individual may not have access to land to make. I don't have access to enough land to make, grow my own food, to be completely self-sustainable. That's one of my goals within the next 5 years, is to get out of the area that I'm in and to relocate to another part of the U.S. where I can have some land and be self-sustainable. So, you have to, we want to know where our food is coming from. So if you're okay with it coming from a test tube, God bless you. You may be one of those individuals like me that want to supplement what I buy in the grocery store or from farmers markets with what I can grow in hydroponic systems and keep them going throughout the year. And also buying more organic, supporting local farmers, buying local farm. I think there's going to be an additional, there's going to be continued issue with food supplies and distribution systems through 2024. I've been warning you guys for 2 years to put away stuff that's shelf stable. I think that there may not be like wholesale, across the board shortages in certain areas. But I do think that there can be like commodity specific shortages. I think that, for instance, the United States wanting the farmers in the Midwest to grow more corn for biofuel then has an unintended consequence of less food corn to be released to feed not only Americans, but releasing that corn and those crops to sustain other communities that might be hard hit. Just saying. I think there's also a big shift with mind to prepare for, say, the winter in Europe. A lot of countries, like, for instance, Germany, bought a lot of their natural gas from Russia because of what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. They're boycotting any purchases from Russia. So they are attempting to bring their nuclear plants that they had shut down back online because there is a real concern that heating fuel and energy for heating and electrical energy is going to become very short supply in Europe, okay? And the US, we are not any longer an energy independent nation. So you need to start making preparations and thinking about what shortages can look like then. So those are the energies that we're in now and that will carry into the end of the year. And let's talk specifically about this new moon. Now, as I mentioned, around the time of the new moon, on July 27th, Jupiter goes stationary retrograde in Aries, and it will be retrograde until November 23rd. During this period of time, this is going to kick off us assessing and reevaluating and reviewing our belief systems, what we trust, and especially on the 27th, Mercury is square to Uranus and the nodal axis. So Uranus is truth and awakening. The South Node in Scorpio is our collective past. And we're going to be looking at where we feel that our trust has been violated or betrayed. So think this energy, you're going to be doing a lot of truth seeking during this period of time. The new moon occurs at 5 degrees 38 minutes of Leo on July 28th at 10:54 a.m. Pacific in the U.S., which would be 1:54 p.m. Eastern U.S. and 6:54 p.m. in the U.K. Now, the U.S., we are in daylight savings time, and I believe that the U.K. is also on their like summer daylight saving time version as well. So with that new moon energy, okay, new beginnings, a new way of thinking, things you want to bring into your life. You may want to look at your natal chart and see where 5 degrees 38 of Leo falls in your chart, and focus your ritual on that area of that house of your life. And focus your ritual on that area of your life. Now, for those of you who are magical practitioners, the moon is void of course until 2:35 a.m. on the 28th. Okay? The new moon occurs, as I said, at 1:54 p.m. So it's okay for a new moon ritual that evening, okay? New moon, the dark moon energy on the 27th. The moon goes void of course at 8:54 p.m. through to 2 a.m. Was it 2:35 a.m. on the 28th, and that is Eastern Daylight Savings Time in the U.S. You can figure out from that time zone where you are, what time the moon would be void, of course, if you want to do a dark moon ritual. So, with that out of the way, during the new moon, you have to bear in mind that there are 6 planets in fixed signs. So we have the Sun, Moon, and Mercury in Leo. Mars and Uranus are in Taurus. Saturn is in Aquarius. So trying to change someone's mind about something during this period of time is probably a futile effort. I am a card-carrying Leo. I am hard-headed as the day is long, and I own it. And when I get my mind made up about something, I don't even want to hear anybody else, you know. I am going to try and get us to go beyond this incessant sniping from both ends of the extreme, right? And try and come somewhere here. This is where most of us operate, is somewhere in the middle, right? But the ones who get all the attention are way over here and way over here. And that's where everybody thinks that there has to be this, you know, you'll never see it my way. Until we start actually speaking to each other and not yelling at one another, and opening up our ears and being willing to listen to other points of view, we're not going to make it anywhere from a human standpoint and from a collective standpoint. So I just encourage you guys to embrace being more tolerant, being more open, and recognize that these energies may have you want to, I don't even want me, because that's the way I am a lot sometimes. I can be extremely hard-headed and pig-headed, and I know it, and that's one of my human faults. And I try to really listen to all sides before I make a decision. Some things I have hard stops on. Other things I'm like, you know what? You got a point. I didn't see it that way before. So as long as we can have those conversations and realize we don't all need to think the same damn thing. How boring would life be if we were all these like little drones just doing what the powers that be want us to do, like we're their little collective puppets, and that we don't have minds of our own. So embrace your own intelligence, embrace your own ability to speak your truth and be true to yourself in the process. We also are in a period of wanting to feel more and have more of a spiritual connection. This is important as well during the new moon to go out and feel that new energy, to have that sense of excitement, of hope, of bringing a new way of thinking and a new way of living to fruition. For those of you who are magical practitioners, and even those who are energy workers and light workers, it's been so hard to stay grounded and centered here recently because of all these very strong energies that are pulling us in all these different directions, to really try and stay in a positive heart space as much as you can. It has been proven, okay, through extremely, like there's a spiritual community in Scotland that is recognizing and having just amazing like harvests because the community comes together and feeds positive energy and puts it out there in love on the plants. And I mean, it's pretty amazing stuff if you want to look it up and read about it. So trying to stay in that positive heart space will help us all evolve and become more tolerant and come from a place of love rather than listening to the minions trying to make us hate one another. Hate divides us, love unites us, and one of the most dangerous things to the elite and those in power are communities of love. They enjoy it because the more they enjoy having control, and the more that people, rise up and do stupid stuff with one another. There's one thing to peaceful protest, it's another thing to burn stuff, to loot, to rape, pillage, plunder. That's bad energy. And all that does is make the man want to tighten the screws down and give you less autonomy, not only with your body, but where you go, who you talk to, who you see, communities, the way that you think. They want us all to be these little, in the 60s or early 70s, there was a movie called The Stepford Wives, and it was scary as hell. One of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my life, because they were just these little, like, drone women who were not supposed to think, okay? And that's a scary thing to me. And I just encourage everyone to try and stay in that positive heart space. It's hard. I know I have moments and flashes where I just have this overwhelming rage, and I just I hate everything. And then I stop and think, no, you don't. You don't hate everything. This is just the energy of what so many are out there in the collective putting out. We will never change things until those of us who work with energy all the time, change the narrative. And we light the way for others to find their way out of the dark, out of being controlled, out of doing and just accepting what governments and the elite ruling classes are putting out there for us. Like, I have a big problem for, a big global, ruling class putting stuff out about climate change when they all flew to a certain spot in their private jets. Why didn't you have it by a damn Zoom meeting? Okay? You want to talk about carbon emissions? Talk about that private airplane and that private jet that you had fly your hind end from all over the world to go, and come together to say that we all need to reduce our carbon footprint. What a bunch of hypocritical buttheads you are. That's all I'm saying. Until they can walk the walk, they need to shut their mouths, because they ain't doing what they're saying. They're hypocrites. And it's not going to change until we demand that they stop acting that way when they want us to change our behavior and they are unwilling to change or modify their own. Okay? Stop and think about that. No one can tell us what's good for our communities, because we in our communities know what's important to our community, who we need to take care of, where our money needs to be spent, where we need to focus our resources. We need to take care of the old, the infirm, the young, the babies, and, those of us who are in the trenches every day know that you are fighting a good fight, okay? Regardless of what your job is or what you may do for a living or to pass the time. For instance, I enjoy crocheting. I also crochet baby blankets and take them over to the hospital and donate them, okay? I don't always have a recipient name on something that I crochet. Think about how you could help affect change in your own community and take care of somebody else. So just think about that. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to put out something a little bit more on Lunasa in the next day or so. I've also got a video that I am working on. Well, I'm working on editing it. 10 things every baby witch should know. And so hopefully you guys will be on the lookout for those videos as well. So with that, my friends, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share this video out. It helps me in the YouTube algorithm, and because I haven't been publishing as much lately, it's like my videos don't even, hardly get out there at all. So anything you do to help expand the reach of the channel is greatly appreciated. With that, my friends, brightest blessings to each and every one of you. As I always say, merry we did meet, merry we will part until we merry meet again. Be well and walk in love and light, everybody. Bye.